Whoa. Hmm? Yeah. Jupe's airdrop checker is now live. Let's talk about that. And we've got a little bit of a upward momentum in the markets. So we'll go over that as well. And I'll take some questions at the end. Anybody can mention whatever their thoughts are. Let's get into the news. So I've got a few things to go over here. And I think just very quickly, we can come back to this, but we are green again, which is good. Sol's down up almost up to $200. So we dipped down, we've come on back. So whew, feeling good. Either way, dips are for buying in general. Now, this here, I'll just make this full screen here and get rid of my face just for a moment while we just go over some notes that Chris has made, a researcher. So we've got Cash's essay. We're going to go over that. There's a checker websites out live. I'll show you that. In terms of tokens, we've got like 440 million for users that are using the swaps and the other functions, 60 million for stakers, and there's 200 million users carrots in order to download Jupe Mobile, use it there. We're unsure on the exact specifics, or alternatively, well, not alternatively, but in addition to that, also staking it. Then we've got some notes here, which we can cover later, but we'll go over the gist of everything as well. On your timeline, if you're a Solana person, you're probably going to see this a decent amount pretty much everywhere, just green, green, green. Now, the good news is, from all the information I have, if you have multiple wallets, you can claim multiple wallets. So I'm probably going to have 20 or so wallets. Ideally, you would have had one wallet with a huge amount of volume and then maybe some smaller ones. But in this kind of day, you've got different wallets for different purposes. So a nice allocation looks to be around 1,000. And if you are kind of comparing this to a hype airdrop, then keep in mind there are millions of wallets using this. And this is not new. It was new last year. It wasn't even new last year, but it was a nice little bonus then. Hype, people have been actively farming it for quite some time, but there weren't that many people that were actually doing it. Either or, my feed is just all about, allocation. Okay, so let's go over what Cash is talking about here quickly, and then let's have a look at the actual airdrop. So Cash is now part of Jupiter officially, no longer with Super Team. I imagine he still like consults or is doing some sort of transitionary period or whatever, but he is part of Jupe. And Cash is very brilliant, probably the best communicator I've met, and very good in public relations. And so this is one of the reasons why I'm very, very bullish on Jupe. In addition to the team just keeps on shipping. So the whole plan is to grow the pie, which is a little bit hard, but this is their kind of approach. So last year's Jupe was wildly successful. Airdropped 1 billion to claim, but you had to claim your tokens to 955,000 wallets. And that was massive. And it didn't matter if it was a bot or if it's an arbitrage trader or whatever, everyone got tokens. And if you did do arbitrage, you really cooked. This year, there was a lot more scrutiny over it. So, and essentially, might come down here, the biggest number of the big traders, they did pretty much like 97% of all the volume. So if it was a linear airdrop, like what has been done in the past, or like Camino and whatnot, then this tiny percentage of people, they absolutely cook and everybody else gets nothing, which doesn't grow the Jupiverse. But at the same time, you also have to have a minimal amount. Otherwise, you're just going to get someone with very little capital sibling it. So that's why it had to be at least $1,000. So we've got the users, people that used, people that staked, and then the carrots approach. So this part is pretty important here. The top 10% swap users, more than 8K in volume, which isn't that much, were responsible for 99% of the total swap volume. And the top 1% of swap users, more than 200K in volume, were responsible for 97% of the total swap volume. That's why a linear approach would not work. And that's why there are tiers. There are a couple of things that were put into the mix to take out Sybils. If you trade for less than 3 weeks and you're just trying to go in with a wallet, maybe run up some volume, go into the next one, they decided that didn't meet the cut, which is pretty fair to me. Had a 50% failure rate, which is very, very smart. So if you have a look at a bot won't always use the right amount of gas, and so the transactions won't land. But if you're using Solflare or Phantom, they will estimate the amount of gas required, and so you're not going to get that high failure rate. And if you did circular transactions, as an example, this is arbitrage, or like if you had like a Sol decoder bot, maybe you got found out. Not everyone in Sol decoder would have been found out though, and that definitely has product market fit. It managed to gamify it, but more on that a little bit later. So in other words, if you took Bonk and traded Sol and then back to Sol, that's a bit of a red flag, and this would have taken a whole lot of time. In the end, there's 750,000 plus wallets that fell into these categories, but that's out of more than 10 million wallets. So some are going to be labeled incorrectly as symbols or bots, and you'll have 3 months to appeal the decision to receive your Jupuary allocation. So huge amount of effort into this. So if there's anybody unhappy about this, you can open a ticket, you can state your reason why, but don't go and be aggressive with whatever your allocation is. My allocation is pretty small. I didn't farm it in any way. It was completely organic, and most of my swaps didn't count for very much because it was like I would borrow PYUSD, I'd swap it for USDC, and I'd send that USDC to Kraken to pay my bills. And if you did like a Jupe Sol to Sol or a Sol to Judo Sol, these were discounted heavily, which is, why that doesn't account for much volume. And same with stablecoin to stablecoin. Other trades, Jupe to USDC, will count at 100% of their nominal volume. And these are the tiers. So if you reach the top tier, it was 10 million volume, and you get 20,000 Jupe tokens. Apologies, excuse me. Whereas most people were going to be down here with a qualifying score of 500 or 1,000, and they're just getting this small amount. I should be up here, maybe here. Don't think I'd be here organically, but most of that volume was USDC, and so I didn't work out. And so instead, I popped into more of a tier 6. So unfortunately, I don't think I've got anything in tier 5. There was also swap consistency and expert traders. There are people that were using like perps or something like that, and a few other things. Stakers, of course. If you're staking, you did pretty well. But if you moved the stake, unstaked it, moved to a ledger or whatever, and then restaked it, you would have been penalized. So I do want people to please make sure any decent size wallets are actually on a ledger now. Keep them on a ledger, and then do your thing. Use the dApps you trust. Use your hot wallets for things that you're unfamiliar with, or that burner wallets for things that you're not familiar with. And there's a bit of an airdrop bonus here, and the carrots we'll go over a little bit later. Meow has basically said that the team has been working hard on this 25 hours a day, 8 days a week. And if you have any issues, please file a ticket. And we cannot promise to get them soon, but they'll see what they can do. So if you come and you swap, pretty much everyone is going to swap on Jupe. Some people go exclusively to Radium, but you don't get any airdrop of Radium if you do that. So it's not in your best interest to use anything other than jupe.ag. Next year, there'll be another allocation. People will be going crazy, and they'll probably be going for more and more volume. Now, the website you go to is just jupuary.jupe.ag / allocation, or just come here, to be honest. And this is what you are met with. You are going to have to sign up for a Jupiverse profile, which we'll go over shortly, but you connect your wallet and then you check their allocation here. Let's just see if this is going to load for us. Connect your Solflare. There's a lot of people on this website right now, so if it gives you a little bit of grief, that's to be kind of considered. Now, let's just have a quick look at this. Manga too far. I have 0 points, but I did 1,500 in volume. So this could be one of those things. Maybe the wallet's spent less than 3 weeks doing it, and this was from until like November 1st, 2023, something around that time. So if it didn't have enough volume then, a lot of people have done volume in December and January. That's going to be counted for the next Jupuary airdrop. And the thing is, if you didn't get much, then it's just a call to action to kind of do more, I guess. There's not going to be any system where you can just, there's airdrop farming when hundreds of thousands of people are doing it. It's not going to work out well for you because there's too many people in it. You have to be early to something, and it's really going to be hard to be early to things in Solana because there are so many eyes on Solana. So you can try Story Protocol, Monad, Bearer Chain, all those sort of things. So we can see this. This is an old tutorial which has a decent amount of volume. We have 50 for the swap because we're just in this tier here, which probably could have been a little bit higher, but for some reason we didn't. Swap consistency, a little bit of expert, nothing crazy here. I'm still in this qualifying score down here, and staking and bonus staking. So this is what we can see. However, you may have 10 wallets with 100 or 50 or something, and there are quite a few people that have thousands when they factor in all of their wallets. So let's go over the kind of frequently asked question now, and then we'll talk about the actual claiming of the tokens. But before we do all that, let's have a quick look at the questions that are coming through. I got 1,200 Jupe on the first airdrop, and now I got 71 Jupe. Well, maybe you didn't stake your Jupe, you know, actually swap on Jupe, etc. The first one was, it was just like anyone that had used Jupe over years, and maybe you've got 10 different wallets, or maybe you just didn't use it like as much as you should have. But yeah, you'd have to check out Dune Analytics. Let me just see if I can quickly bring up our website, which we can actually see the kind of volume that someone's has made in the ecosystem. Let's just have a look. Can't remember. So hold on, Dune Analytics, here we are. This is it here. So if you go and take your address and you go to this website, Dune, and then you go and grab your address, you can paste the address, run, and then this will show you how much volume you've actually put through. But I don't know if it's going to work it out from, oh no, it looks like it does. Your regular swap volume from here. So you can see I did 18,162 in this time. And then if we have a look at this one, it said I did 1,000 volume. So whatever these swaps were, some of these swaps could have been things that they didn't like for whatever Sol USDC, I would have maybe expected a little bit more, etc., etc. Sol USDC or USDT, this would have been discounted heavily, of course, but all these things probably should have put us over. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on there, but we've been found to be in tier 7. I don't think it said anything about Sol and USDT being an issue. Stable swaps and Sol swaps are heavily discounted. You might be able to open a ticket, but we'll probably need a little bit of clarification. I'm not going to have all that information. So, all right, let's have a read through these frequently asked questions, and if I don't answer them, then I'll go through questions that people are asking. So we've got a pretty good gist on the essay by Cash, but you can go and have a read of that yourself. Excuse me. And I don't think there's anything related to Sol USDC, so that is a little bit strange. But this time we're going to need a Jupiverse profile. So if we come back here to Jupuary. We have to sign up and log in. We have to create an actual email account or use our email account. And we need that. And it's kind of like the Sanctum system. We can link a maximum of 20 different wallets. Claims will go live before Cat Symbol, which is 25th, 26th of Jan. So don't go and take your ledger to Istanbul or anything like that. Do your claims beforehand, unless whatever. And they'll stay open for 3 months. So plenty of time there from the exact date and time. So we don't know when we can claim as of yet. But to claim, your wallet will be connected to the Jupiterverse profile. Each profile can link up to 20 wallets, and the allocation on each wallet has to be claimed separately. We recommend linking your wallets before claims open for a smoother claim experience. So I will probably have 50 wallets, and they won't have very much of them, but I'll have 50 wallets, and I'll claim all my Jup, and I'll stake all my Jup. So there's a couple of things I need to work out. Firstly, you're going to need like 3 different email addresses, which you can do just one with Gmail. It can be like Seb Monty 2020. That could be one email address, and then Seb Monty 2020 plus 1. If you add a plus in it, you can Google it, but you probably would have a couple of different email addresses if you have lots of wallets. Most people are not going to have more than 20 wallets, so that's going to be fine. But you're still going to have to go and claim the allocation on every single individual wallet, which is very simple, but you may be wanting to do it in the Jup mobile app. So I'm unsure on that stage until we get more clarification. So we'll work that all out. You had to do something similar with Magic Eden. Magic Eden's wallet wasn't very good. Jup mobile is pretty good for some basic things. That combined with Solflare, it's a pretty good mix on your phone, in my opinion. The categories allocation. What are the categories of allocation available? Kind of covered this here. We can see the dates for adjusted USD volume, and we remove bot symbols, wallets trading for under 3 weeks, and wallets trading mostly illiquid pairs, and removed circular transactions. So a lot of work went into this. Some people will be marked incorrectly, but most would be marked correctly, and some symbols would have got through as well. The volume of stable swaps and sol swaps are heavily discounted in your score. Doesn't talk about Sol USDC, so I'm unsure on that. And we look at your time-weighted stake, which is an average of 2 snapshots taken every month. So if you are staking, let's have a look here. If you are staking in a wallet and you are also trading in that wallet, then you would be getting a little bit more of a bonus as well. And you can unlink your wallets. And if you've been a good cat, like you've made content or helped in some ways and you want to apply, you can go check out that on Discord. If you're an Ape user, that will be implemented later. I'm unsure if they're going to do a cutoff period until the 2nd of November or if anyone's just been using Ape until now. Unsure on that. And then carrots, roughly 200 million has been set aside for carrots. Remember, there's only 700 million in the entirety for this allocation. So 200 million is just to try and incentivize you to use mobile and also to go and stake, is my understanding. And if you've been flagged, you can go and jump into Discord. All right, let's have a look at some of these questions coming. So the most boring part is there isn't checker with just the public key to check it fast rather than connecting. No, not quite. So firstly, we can come here and then I can go and grab, I'll grab it from another window actually. I'll go and grab my like 10K to 100K challenge wallet, which has a small amount of volume, has a small amount of stake. It just kind of teaches people the gentle things. Come up to the allocation section, paste it in. It's public wallet. Anyone can see it. Sometimes you get this error, annoyingly, and that just could be like a bit of a DDoS attack. But then you just try it again, and you can see this had 70 tokens just for organically trying to grow. You know, this is basically $70. Jup token probably go to $4 or $5 or more. Not financial advice, just bullish on Jup, and I think they're gonna make this is gonna rocket. I imagine it's a completely different cycle to previous cycles, but either way, this is at the very least it's like $70 for using that. The other thing is if you go and have a look at airdropped.link, there will be coming soon the ability to just go to airdrop.link. They've mentioned here, checker on airdrop.link is coming soon. So you come here, and I can't go and actually check these right now, but you will be able to see it here. At present, if you're using it, just so you know, Jupiter, that will show your original allocation, which you cannot claim it, that's expired. Okay, let's have a look at some other questions. How to claim on Jupe Mobile if I use Phantom? We don't have the details there yet. I imagine it could be something as simple as like importing a private key, which can create a tutorial on that, or potentially the other option is that you can scan a QR code and link it in that way, but I'm not sure. I'm unsure. I'm connecting the wallet but can't create the account. I'm not receiving email. Okay, so I haven't actually tried to create an account yet, so that could be certainly something that's a bit of an issue. But you've got time. You've got days to work it out. It was mentioned that those dashboards are miscalculating the route skips. Okay, appreciate that. This is in regards to Dune, so it could be a miscalculation here, but yeah, you could be right. I'll hit up Hitman Lee and see what he says. I think you had 9K score, so close to the 10K. It says like 18,000 here. Your volume tier total. I don't really mind. I don't really mind. I guess the big lesson here is just use things organically, and then if you're bullish on something, you can use a little bit more actively as well to try and farm it. But there will be a little bit of a loss, and we'll go over that shortly. Anyone understand the expert trade score was determined, calculated? I don't have all the details on this, but this was mostly related to like perp swaps and the amount of volume that went through like limit orders, DCA, VA, and perps. So anyone that's like using perps heavily, like really heavily, they probably would like it. It's not going to be like hype, and some people are expecting that. You got 220 Jupe for one wallet, which is nice, and 700 Jupe on 6 wallets. Perfect. Cool. All right. So I like this comment. $5 Jupe can't even pass $1.40. All right. So let's go over on a major tangent here, and let's talk about Colts, and let's talk about FTV. One thing that I don't like about Jupe is this is called a low float, high FTV. Low float is the amount of tokens at circulation. FTV is fully diluted valuation. There's very little upside for a person that's just wanting to accumulate these tokens if there's such a massive supply of tokens to still come. And this is why there's this big meta, which has been going for quite some time, but it's a little bit hard to really put into play, where when tokens come out with a far more sizable float in relation to the FTV, they have outperformed. So if we pull up side by side Jupe and Hype, they're not comparable, but we're gonna pull them up. Okay, so this has a market cap of 8 billion. This is a market cap of 1.3. Fully FTV of 23, FTV of 8. This is its own blockchain or whatever. Whole lot of centralization issues, could be very well worth buying some hype or farming some hype or whatever. But the really cool thing is this token's far newer than Jupe, and 33% of the tokens are already out. And there are more tokens coming out from other groups, not as goated as someone like Hyperliquid or Jupe, where like 80% is just like community. And you get those tokens out. We legitimately know that we only have a brief amount of time in a cycle to actually do really, really well. And there are some things that you may hold long term, but you're highly likely, if you know what you're doing, you're highly likely to hedge those things. Put on a short position and close the position at a certain stage, buy back in, sell your soul, buy back in, DCA in throughout the bear market, that kind of thing. Restake it, all that sort of jazz. So at the end of the day, if you sell, someone buys, and if you buy, someone sells. So Hype's actual token dynamics are far better. And if we go and compare it to something like Uniswap, which I don't think is a great comparison, there are multiple different blockchains that don't have a cult forming or whatever. The market cap is this. The amount of circulating supply is quite sizable. It's 60% of this. So the thing is, the team has leveled up significantly with Cash being there. And they're not only that, there's a community of like, they get like 11,000 pieces of feedback. 11,000 feedback pieces. All they need to do is get like an AI team to go and analyze that stuff, work out, do some modeling, which, they'll have to hire someone else to do that. But this certainly has the potential to do really, really well. We can see all this sort of stuff, hot wallets and DAO wallets and whatever, and the estimated circulating supply. What we know is that 30% of the burn is going to happen at Cat Simple. So this is going to go from a 10 billion supply to a 7 billion. And then there's 700 billion tokens that are going into the wild. So let's just pull open the calculator quickly and work this out. There's when you're just about to go and give away 700 million tokens, you cannot really be expecting things to kind of jump up. And of course, the token price hasn't done amazingly well, but I do actually think it's going to go higher. So if we put in like one blah 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 and plus 700 million, that, and then if we divide that by 7 billion, then we're going to have 34% of the supply out, which is still not enough in my opinion. I would still like that to be more. I would like them to burn more. I'd like them to take more from the community. I'd like them to take more from the team. I would especially like them to take more from the team because that is the meta and they can do that. If all the feedback starts to go that way, like the team will probably agree on taking a haircut because then that allows for far more of a token go up. Plus, adding extra transparency or like a full-on document on the vesting schedules for the team and all that sort of stuff, really allowing the community to eat first. When they do those sort of things, which I have no inside knowledge, but this could easily be done in the next kind of 4 or 5 months of Jupe. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, $5 Jupe is fairly easy. And if you're staking that Jupe, doing active staking rewards, you basically, in 1 year's time, it's going to be double in terms of the accrued value. So that's why I say $5 Jupe. But yeah, it's a little bit ambitious when you look at the price right now. I completely agree with that. The crypto world is using airdrops to get people to give their identity and wallet addresses for $50. Okay, so you can create an email address, which is jes112111@gmail.com, and no one's going to know who you are. It's not really an issue. It's just, it adds a level of difficulty if there's someone out there operating 2,000 bot wallets. That's, they have to go and create 100 addresses and go and link it like that. It's just adding a bit of a deterrent. I think Basket is dead. If you're the person that's tagging me on Twitter or whatever, it doesn't look like there's getting a response for the team. So it doesn't look like it's got the legs. How I can claim, we don't have claim details yet, but it will be happening before the 25th of January. So probably around like the 20th or something, whatever. And then we'll cover that in a tutorial. Still more Jupe airdrops for all those tokens. Chill to buy. Don't quite understand that moonship, but I mean, there's another Jupuary airdrop that's going to happen in 2026. And then there may be more from there. 2026 will be a bear market, in my opinion, or it'll be the telltale end of the bull market for crypto. But stocks and house prices can still go a little bit crazy, potentially. 77, cool. There are some people that are a little bit upset that they didn't get like many or any, but their actual volume could have been like really, really low. And there's also people that hold Jupe on Binance and then they are upset. but you have to be putting in a ledger, staking it, learning how to use the blockchain. Otherwise, you're not adding any value to Jupe, the DAO, the community, that sort of stuff. Hello, hello, and agree on the Jupe team burn. This is just an idea. They don't have to do it. When you have done the vast majority of all the work for something in the traditional world, you hold on to so much capital and you go sell to VCs that believe in you, and then they make outsized returns. But in crypto, there is far more of a meta where like more rewards should go to community. But keep in mind that like you go and analyze most tokens and how their allocation is done between community and whatnot. The team does eat first heavily across many protocols, the vast majority. Even tokens that I really like, or projects I really like Camino. It's just, if you have a look, and we'll go off on a tangent here for a moment. If you go and have a look at Camino token, and we'll compare it to Aave, right? It is 13% circulating supply out of this massive 10 billion, which is just not crazy high. In market cap, lower. Fully diluted valuation, lower. Price, lower. Very bullish on Camino. And if you go and look at the team tokens, VCs, insiders, it's kind of high. Nothing too crazy, nothing, but just not the meta that's been put forth for a little bit of time. Whereas we covered it before, but why can't I remember this name? Doesn't matter. There are new metas coming out where far more of it is coming out to the community, and that's what's better. Oh, I said I'll show you Aave. Aave has obviously been around for quite some time, and they have pretty much all of theirs circulating. And I don't know what the team got, but whatever. They actually started when they started, they raised very little, and then there was a bear market, was brutal, and now they've got a far higher market cap. But even this market cap is lower than Hype's, and Hype is its own blockchain, but how much potential does it have? Who knows? Let's have a look. Import the seed. So this is how you could do it. You could import the seed phrase into your mobile, into the Jupe mobile, in order to claim it. But we won't do that until we know what is the easiest way. Because if you have 20 wallets and you have to go and import 20 different private keys, I'll show you how to do it in a tutorial. But I'm hoping it's a little bit of an easier way, because people will lose funds that way. They'll copy from their computer, they'll send it to themselves non-securely, because you can't just type these out. They're quite difficult. This allocation is different to active staking rewards in Q4. Yeah, like Binance and Bybit, and there are some trusted exchanges out there, but it's unwise to leave a lot of funds on them for sure. We don't know when the airdrop claim will be live, but the estimation is that it will be probably like 20th or thereabouts. I imagine there'll be enough time for you to go and claim it before people start to fly off to get to Istanbul. That would be my goal. I do hope that everyone's still here in the bear market, but closer to when the bear market's coming, we'll cover this in more videos. But I do think it will be properly brutal, and the vast majority will not stick around. I have a video that was released beginning of the year 2025, like what's next. It's worth watching it. It's not my normal self. It's just being real that this is your year to hustle, because things will probably get quite a bit difficult. I received 202. I'm going to stake it. It'll be $1,000 airdrop in a few years. One thing is, I do believe that Jupe will do well through the bear market. The price will go down. There'll be less volume, etc., etc. But they'll build and ship more things. Other teams that don't have a treasury will unfortunately die. And then come next cycle, like GUM and the giant unified market, stocks on the blockchain, liquidity pools, these things directly connected to Meteor and Jupe will be the number one and number two by like TVL and usage, most used dApps on the actual blockchain. Camino as well. Airdrop next week. Claim next week. Thoughts are familiar with the Solana allocation Emerald card bundle thing? Layer might have legs. Don't have a lot of thoughts on this actually. Solana is like a bit of a competitor to staking with Validator.com, which I'm fine with competitors. You should be staking some of your Sol with Validator.com, but where it doesn't have like clear usage of is like you don't really need restaking. It just kind of adds a layer of complexity. If it gives you an airdrop, fine. Does it have legs? I don't know. I mean, Layer is not out yet, right? Or have they actually? They haven't released the actual token. So, yeah, I don't know the details on that. Is it true if you claim with mobile, you'll get a little more? It is true. It is true that you will get, this is a carrot approach to try and get more users to use Jupe Mobile. I believe the biggest goal with Jupe Mobile is not to, take away market share from Phantom or Solflare necessarily. It's just to be like a nice onboarding system. Hopefully, a lot of the viewers here are using Camino and Meteor and all these different dApps that actually make up the blockchain. But the lowest hanging fruit and the most common usage for crypto is to buy one token and sell it at a profit, and to swap it for another token and sell it at a profit. That is ultimately why we're here. If we had a good track record of finding good tokens, we'll just do that. We wouldn't care about DeFi. If we could take $100, turn it into 200 and do that every day, leveling up, we'd be on $1 million very, very quickly, and then we'd go higher. So my tangent is Jupe Mobile is just like the simplest way just to do swaps. So you'd use that, and when you use that, you would onboard a friend because there's like a promo right now on. I'll go and bring it up. Basically, you get tickets. You get tickets into a raffle if you're going to share this with your friend. You can go and share it with. Sorry, I am following Jupe. Okay, there we are. This here, 100,000 prizes. You can go and invite people and send them like $4 worth of Sol, put it in bonk, whatever. And the more people that do this, the more chance you have to win. And the details, the exact details on, I don't know where they all are, but it's basically you get these tickets. Oh, there we are. 1 ticket to receive 25K, 4 tickets, 12.5, 5 tickets to receive 5K. And I'll do another video that covers this, downloading the wallet, doing all that jazz. Let's see if we can do that tomorrow. It's easy. This is a good time just to go and just find 10 friends that are crypto curious and just invite them in and say, all right, I've given you $5. It's $50. You could end up winning. Go into it for bonk. And hopefully, or whatever, GOAT, an AI coin, AI 16C, whatever, all that sort of stuff. Like, those people could actually start to get really involved. This is what's happened in the previous cycle with me. And then they start to, they're a normie and they start to see things on TikTok and they go, hey, I bought this, you should look into it. And you either have time to research it or you just go and do a bit of a DGM play and they can do well. Get only 100? Well, 100's better than nothing. How about for Ledger Wallets who wants to claim in Jupe app for extra rewards? Don't have the information on that. I will ask or it'll be put out, but I imagine that's where you can maybe like scan a QR code, or I'm not entirely sure. Any chance whale token improves? Are they still being scammy? So this is from whales.market. I don't think the token will improve. I have pinged the team, but they don't seem to be they don't care. They said a little while ago that they're going to take 1,000 Sol and distribute it in different ways to whatever. But they've been making absolute bank, and unfortunately, they have stopped their agreed thing like 6 months ago. So if we come staking, Maybe we have to go away from Pro. Go to DApp. It looks as like they've just hid the whole section. So, I mean, the actual website, it's done really. It's good. It works. Everything kind of works. But then they don't. They didn't follow through with their token plans. So unfortunately, and I had bought some whales. I was very bullish on it because they did get so much pre-market attention. But this token should be multiple dollars because they should be buying hundreds of Sol worth of it and distributing it and burning some every day. Sorry. Yeah, maybe every day, if not every month. This is what happened to it. $5 and then just rocketed down. So I hope I wouldn't buy any. Jupe is a great buy at 10 cents. You can go and set some limit orders at 10 cents, sure. But that will take a little bit of time to come through. I can do a video on that. And 1283, so well done. Awesome. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Oh, we've got a couple more questions. Why an email? An email is useful, I guess, to sign up to our mailing list to keep you alert on different things. It's just a common thing. This is how it was done with Discord. No, with Sanctum, they ask you to connect your Discord and Twitter. So this is easier than that. You don't have to dox who you are because it could just be thecatlover@gmail.com. And then and then if you're really worried, if you've got 100 different qualifying wallets, you just need 100 different email addresses. If you don't want to go and link them and say, well, this one's connected to this one. So it's just an extra step. It's free money that's coming away. Any airdrop on Camino? Airdrop checker, tell me yes. So with Camino, there will be like another season. There'll be like season 3 coming to a close soon. Don't know when. And then that'll be announced by Camino. It'll be sought by my team or myself, and I'll announce it. Nothing as of yet. There'll probably be multiple ways as they try to attract more capital, more TVL. They're doing well over there. Yeah. All right. I wanted to follow up with one last thing that I just forgot as well. And that is, if you do see someone that had $10 million score and you think, well, that's, good on them or whatever, but I'm jealous of them. Let's have a look at this. If we go and take USDC and we go and buy Bonk, which has a lot of liquidity, and if we had a whole lot of money, and if we could do like 100,000 swap each time, right? We would be losing in slippage and fees. We could probably go a little bit less than this, but we'd be losing $1,700 every time. So if we did 1,700 and then we have to do, times 10, it's 17,000, and then times 10, it's $170,000 in slippage in order to reach $10 million, which would give us the 20K. I don't know if we can do like Sol USDC. We won't do that. We'll go with 50K because that's kind of easier. Actually, let's just have a look at, no, we'll go 50K. Sorry, my apologies. 50,000. I'm just showing that even if they sibbled it, they spent money on fees, right? So you want to use this and get better at trading and then get an airdrop as a, well done, here's an airdrop. You don't want to go and spend all the fees, lose all the money, you're not good at what you do, and then you end up spending $40,000 on fees and get a $20,000 airdrop. So here, even with 50K, you're losing $700. And then once again, even if we times it by 20, then that's like $14,000. And then we would go and get 5,000 tokens for 1 million. So just keeping in mind that when the whales got a whole lot more, they deserved it. They used that more. It worked well. When active staking rewards, unsure, maybe after Cat Symbol. There haven't been any major votes coming through. Well, that's everything. Thanks very much for joining. I'll be back tomorrow with a whole lot more crypto news. In the meantime, go check your wallets. Airdrop Checker should be live hopefully within a day or two with like the list of all of the qualifying wallets, in which case I've got a tutorial on that. You can check that out. And then if you're going to Cat Symbol, say hi. If you're not going, I'll try and keep up to date everybody with some news over there. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Whoa. Hmm? Yeah.